You've been up to
Yeah.
100 at Walter State. Um, what were the main changes that you made across that time frame? So you mentioned mobility. Like, what type of stuff were you doing from a mobility standpoint? Um, have you always been pretty mobile, or like you just in that period of time, the past year or two, had started to feel tight, or it was a complete like 180 in terms of the mobility and the ranges of motion that you were able to get? And then maybe from a strength standpoint, like what else changed in your body across that 12, 16 months?
Yeah, I mean, at Walter State, I was really just trying to get as strong as I could. So I was honestly almost doing bodybuilder type workouts, just really trying to get as strong and as physical as I could. I was probably up to almost 240 at Walters, and it was probably mostly muscle, but I was really not focusing on mobility at all. So I think that was one thing when I came here and I got hurt. I was like, all right, I need to do something a little different and really like focus on recovery and mobility more so that I can stay healthy and continue to get stronger, but in the right way. So I'm like right under 230 now, so I lost a little bit of weight, but I think I'm a lot stronger than I was and a lot faster. So I think in the long run, just kind of working on that mobility and trying to stay loose and getting in those deep positions has really benefited me a lot more than just trying to get as strong as I can.
Gotcha. So that's something you've actively tried to work on. It's not just like some people look at Aurel's Chapman, right? Aurel's Chapman naturally is very, very, very loose. Like he can just touch his like elbows behind his body, and it doesn't look like he does a ton of mobility work. Like he can go and bench press, 315 plus, and just like never loses that. But that's something that for you, you specifically emphasize that, specifically focused on it, and you've had to work to get into some of those positions.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that I honestly every day I'll kind of go through a pretty good routine with mobility, just trying to stay loose and continue to get into those deep positions. And I think that's helped me gain a little more on my velocity and also stay healthy this year.
Real quick, like what are some of the things you do there? Are you doing like stretches for your pecs, your lats, your
Mhm.
tricep? Are you doing soft tissue work or more like stretching type work? Are you just lifting through four ranges of motion? Like what type of stuff do you do to work on that?
Honestly, kind of all those. Like I'll go in and foam roll and use a lacrosse ball, just kind of really get into the pec and the back of my shoulder. Um, and I'll kind of foam roll everything, but it's really important with the back of the shoulder and the lat and the pec, just kind of keeping those loose. And I do a lot of hangs from the bar before I get started, and then I'll go through a mobility routine, like kind of get my hips going, and a lot of pec stretching, and really trying to get the back of my shoulder as loose as I can because I had really bad internal rotation problems in my
Mm.
shoulder, which kind of led to the injury as well. So that's kind of something my trainer and me have been focusing on a lot here at Tennessee. But yeah, I mean, I'll go through all that and squatting. I try to go through pretty deep ranges of motion. I'll do occasionally do barbell bench press. Just really trying to get into those ranges of motion that I'm going to be in pitching and putting some force on it, just so that I know that I'm able to handle it when I get out there and throw.